Good morning students. I welcome you all for the class. Today we are going to discuss regarding a page table structure. Fine, the structure of a page table or a page table structure. So before going to that topic, let me tell you, let me brush you like what do you mean by a page table and why we need for the page table structures. Fine. So what do you mean by a page table in the sense like for each and every process, like we have seen a paging concept, right? In the paging concept, in order to get the frame number easy, we are maintaining the page tables, right? Which page has been stored onto which frame, that table we call it as a page table, right? So by making use of that page table, suppose if your CPU wants to refer third page, in the sense like third is the CPU generates a logical address, but we need a physical address like where it has actually stored in the main memory. So we need a particular frame number but not the page number. So when the CPU is giving a third page, like we'll be going to search for the third page. So we'll be going to go to the third page, and the third page has been loaded into which frame? Suppose 11th frame. Then we'll be going for the 11th frame and get that third page. So this is the technique we are going to use. So what I supposed to say is like what is the important thing of a page table is the first and the foremost thing is for each and every process. Suppose if you are having 5 processes, P1, P2, P3, P4 and P5, for all the P5 processes, each process will be having a separate page table. P1 will have a separate page table, P2 will have a separate page table, like that. P5 process, like all the 5 process are going to have separate page tables. Fine. Suppose in the process P1, 5 pages are there, and process P1, 5 pages are there. Fourth page has been loaded in the main memory. So if fourth page has been loaded, as the process P1 page has been loaded onto the main memory, we have to load that respective page table onto the main memory. Then only we can see which page is containing in which frame. What I mean to say is, if any process, any page, suppose P2 process, third page has been loaded in the main memory, in the sense that particular P2 process page table also should be loaded into the main memory. So which process pages are there in the main memory, their process page tables also should be loaded onto the main memory. But when suppose if P1 is having 100 pages, process P1 is having 100 pages. Out of 100 pages, only 10 pages are there in main memory. For suppose, like P1 process is there, that P1 process is having 100 pages. Out of 100 pages, only 10 pages have been loaded onto the main memory. But even though 10 pages have been loaded, so all the page tables have to be loaded onto the main memory, which consumes lots and lots of space. Fine. The importance of a page table is like in order to know easily the page, which page has been loaded onto which frame, or which page has been stored onto which frame, we'll be going to have that particular information in the page table. So suppose if a limited number of pages are there, like we can store all the pages into the main memory as well as corresponding page tables onto the main memory. Suppose if you are having lakhs and lakhs of processes are there, and their pages along with the page tables are going to be stored onto the main memory, in the sense like as we know before, our main memory space is very small, it can't accommodate much and much number of instructions. So for that reason, we'll be going to have a different structures of a page table. So why page tables are having different structures, in the sense in order to accommodate more and more instructions, like how we are going to give the probability of getting more and more instructions onto the main memory. So we are having a different page table structures. So among those different page table structures, there are 3 main different page table structures. The first one is the hierarchical paging, or we can call it as a two-level multi-level paging. Fine, we can call it as a both hierarchical paging or multi-level paging. When the term says multi-level, in that multi-level we'll be going to have two-level paging and three-level paging, and the second one is hashed paging, and the third one is inverted paging. So these are the three different page table structures. So in this class we'll be going to see regarding all the three structures of a page tables. So first we'll be going to start with hierarchical paging. As I have said you before, hierarchical paging we also call it as what we call it as it we also call it as an multi-level. So we call that as multi-level paging, hierarchical paging, or we call this as multi-level paging. So hierarchical paging, or we can call it as a multi-level paging. So in this multi-level paging, we'll be going to have two things, that is two-level paging and three-level paging. Fine. Hierarchical paging, we can also call it as a multi-level paging. So multi-level paging, in the sense we are having two-level paging and three-level paging. Next one is hashed paging, and third one is the inverted paging. So these are the three different page tables we are having: hierarchical paging, hashed paging, and the inverted paging. So let me tell you, what do you mean by a page table? So here a page table is a data structure. So we call this page table is a data structure used by virtual memory system in a computer. Virtual memory in the sense logical memory. Why? Because the CPU is going to generate the logical addresses. The logical address we call it as an virtual address, and a computer operating system to store the mapping between the virtual address and the physical address. So here when we are going to talk regarding this virtual address and the physical address, this physical address, like we call it as a main memory address. Whatever the CPU which is going to generate address, we call that as a logical address, or we can also call it as a virtual address. Fine. So CPU generating address, we call it as a logical address, or we call it as a virtual address, and where the main memory is going to store the addresses in which form, in the sense physical addresses, that addresses we'll be going to call it as a physical addresses. So the page table is going to map the virtual addresses as well as the physical addresses. So if that mapping is not there, we can't convert that logical address into physical address. We can't find a particular page in main memory. So in order to find a particular page onto the main memory, we need to have a page table, and that page table is a data structure which is going to map the logical addresses to the physical address. Logical addresses are nothing but the CPU generated address, which we call it as a logical address, and that has to be changed to the physical address, which is the main memory where actual address. So these are the this is the definition of a page table. Fine. So the first one is the hierarchical paging. So this hierarchical paging, we can also call it as a multi-level paging. So why we are calling it as multi-level paging, in the sense here will be going to have two-level paging and the three-level paging. So why we are going for this hierarchical paging, I'll be discussing you. So the page table might be too big to fit in a contiguous space, so we might have an hierarchical with several levels. What I have said you is, suppose if there are limited number of pages, so we can store all the pages onto the main memory and as well as page tables onto the main memory. But if the pages are more lakhs, then we can't store all the pages continuously onto the main memory. So that is the problem. So for that reason, we are going for this hierarchical paging. In this hierarchical paging, as I have said you before, like you will be going to have two-level page table and the three-level page table. So let me show you diagrammatically So what is a hierarchical page table? So when it comes to a hierarchical page table, why we are going for this hierarchical page table? In the sense, first of all, like as we are going to have a more number of pages. Suppose if CPU generated a logical address, fine. So here the CPU generates which address the CPU is going to generate. The CPU is will be generating the logical address, fine. The CPU is going to generate the logical address. Suppose the size of this logical address is of 32 bit, fine. The size of this logical address is of 32 bit. So and here the page size is of suppose 4 KB, fine. Here the logical address is of 32 bit and the size of each page, the size of each page is equals to 4 KB. How can we write this 4 KB? This 4 can be written as 2 power 2, and we also know that 1 KB is equals to how many bits? 1024 bits. This 4 KB, in the sense this 1024 bits, 1 KB is of 1024 bits. 4 KB in the sense like we'll be going to have 2 power 20. So 2 power 20. So 4 KB can be written as 2 power 20. Fine. So 2 power 20 in the sense like it is going to have lakhs of pages. So 2 power 20 in the sense lakhs of pages will be going to have, but it is very high to accommodate these lakhs of pages onto the main memory, fine. So here, so that's the reason we'll be going for this hierarchical paging. Hierarchical paging in the sense, in order to have this in order to keep it in a single page table, we are going to maintain a different number of page tables, so that the burden on a single page table is going to be reduced. We want to lessen the burden on a single page table. So what we are going to do is, we are going to create many page tables, so that the burden on a single page table is going to be lessened. Here the CPU is generating the logical address. So actually the CPU generated logical address is going to be divided into two. The first one is the page number and the second one is the displacement, fine. So what do you mean by a displacement? The place where the actual data has been located, that we call it as a displacement. This we also call it as an offset, also we can call, fine. The CPU is going to generate a logical address. That logical address is divided into two. Here that logical address is divided into two. The first part is a page number and the second part is of displacement. Displacement means where the actual page resides, that we call it as a displacement. Here when we are talking regarding this 2 power 20, that means lakhs and lakhs of pages are there, fine. Lakhs and lakhs of pages are there. Here when we are going to have a lakhs and lakhs of pages, so here the displacement is of like how many bits, like we'll be going to have each page contains like a 2 power 12. These many things the pages can be accommodated. So here displacement, if you are going to have 12, so suppose if the displacement is 12 and that what is the logical address size is 32 bit, and if you are going to have 32 bits, in this out of 32 bits, if 12 bits are of displacement, here we'll be going to have a page numbers of 20 pages can be accommodated. So 20 pages and 12 is the displacement. 20 plus 12, totally we'll be going to have a 32 bit, fine. This is how we'll be going to calculate like how many pages has to be divided, fine. So suppose if the logical address is of 32 bit, so 32 bit in the sense like we'll be going to have if suppose the page size is of 4 KB, a 4 KB can be written as 2 square, 1 KB is equals to 1024 bits, and 4 KB in the sense 2 power 20 bits. That means it is crossing lakhs of pages. So accommodating these lakhs of pages on a single page table is very highly difficult. So what we are going to do is, like, we are going to have a hierarchical page table. So this diagram shows this is a page table of, this is of 2-level paging diagram, this is of 2-level paging diagram. So this is the first level and this is the second level. So that's the reason why we are calling it as a 2-level paging. So this is the first paging level and this is the second paging level. Fine. So when we are going to have this 2-level paging, as the diagram as I have shown it before, so it is very difficult to store the entire page in a single page, in a single page table. So that's the reason we have gone for the multiple number of pages. So here the CPU is going to generate a logical address. So logical address is going to be generated. So that logical address is going to be divided into 3 in 2-level paging. So the displacement is common. Here we'll be going to have actually this logical address is going to be divided into 2, the page number and the displacement, right? So here the displacement is 12 and the page numbers is 20. Now in hierarchical paging, in order to lessen the burden of page on a single page table, what we are going to do is, we are going to divide this into 2. So here this is the outer page table, this is the inner page table. Outer page table contains 10 pages and the inner page table contains 10 pages. Here 20 are there, which is going to have a burden. So that burden we are going to lessen by making dividing into 2, outer page table and the inner page table. So see here, if the CPU generates a logical address, so that logical address is going to be having page 1, page 2 and the displacement. Here page 2 contains 10 pages and page 1 contains the 10 pages. Totally we'll be going to have a 20. Fine. So this P1 address is going to be mapped, is the address for the outer page table. So in this outer page table, we'll be going to find a particular page, and that page offset is going to be found in the second page table. So in this second page table, so suppose sixth page in the sense, so sixth page will come. In that second table, we'll be going to find the particular frame number. So as we have already seen in paging concept, right, like we'll be going to have frame numbers and the page numbers. So suppose sixth frame, page 3 is loaded, that in the sense, so page 3 is loaded onto the sixth frame. So now this frame number is going to be taken, and the displacement at which position? 12th position. Sixth frame, 12th position, my actual data is there. So this is many pages are there. So this is the sixth frame. In this sixth frame, I need to go for 12th position, then I'll be going to fetch my data. So this is the hierarchical paging. So hierarchical paging, why we are going for the hierarchical paging? In the sense, in order to lessen the burden of page table, single page table, we are going for the different page table, so that one page table can handle some instructions and another page table can handle some instructions. Suppose if it is a 32-bit, we have been going for the 2-level paging. In one page we have stored a 10 instructions, and in the another page we have stored some 10 instructions, so that the burden on a single page table has been lessened. So this is the concept of 2-level paging. Suppose when it comes for 3-level paging, suppose now if we want to see for 3-level paging, so 3-level paging in the sense, so this here this is the 2-level paging, and 3-level paging in the sense, here this page is going to be divided into 3, page 1, page 2, page 3 and displacement. So in this page 3 you will be going to get the particular frame, and that frame is going to be added with the displacement in order to find the physical address. Fine. So this is the 3-level paging. So when it comes to the 3-level paging, suppose the CPU generate a logical address of 64-bit. Fine. And previously we have seen that CPU generate a logical address of 32-bit. For suppose in 3-level paging, the CPU generated a logical address of 64-bit, and normally the size of a page is equals to 4 KB. Now here how it is going to be divided here? So P1, P2, P3 and displacement. We already know that the displacement is 12. Fine. Here what is the CPU generated one? 64-bit, and 64 minus 12, that is equals to how many bits left? 52 bits left. Those 52 bits are going to be shared among P1, P2 and P3. Suppose if P3 is having 10 instructions, 10 bits, P2 is having 10 bits, and remaining 32 bits it will be handled by the P1. So previously all the 64 bits has to be handled by a single page table. Now what we are going to do here, we are maintaining 3 page tables so that the burden of 64 has been reduced to 32, 10 and 10. Now P1 will be generating an offset of P2. Now the P2 will be generating an offset of P3. In P3 we will be going to have a particular frame number. So by taking that frame number, here one more page table is going to be added when we are consider the 3-level paging. So here we will be not going to get the frame, here we will be going to get the offset. By taking that offset we will be going to the third page table. Here we will be going to find the particular frame. That frame is going to be taken, and the displacement where it has been actually located, that is going to be taken. So by adding these two we will be going to get the exact location of a particular page in the main memory. Why all the things? In the sense, the CPU is going to generate a logical address, but we need a physical address of that particular page. So we need to convert that logical address into physical address. How we are converting in the paging concept, we have seen by making use of a memory management unit. So by making use of a memory management unit, we will be going to convert that logical addresses into physical address. Which unit will convert? In the sense, memory management unit. Memory management unit will make use of a page table. What is a page table? It is a data structure which is used to convert a logical address into physical address. So this memory management unit, by making use of a page table contains the information which page has been loaded onto which frame. Suppose page 6 was loaded onto which frame? 6th frame. So by taking that information we will be going to find the address of a page in the main memory. So this is the hierarchical paging table. So this is the one of the structure of a page table. And next one is, you will be going to have another structure which is called as a hashed page table. So which we call it as a hashed page table. So when we are going for this hashed 2-level paging, as I have said you, so it is suppose a logical address of 32-bit machine with 4 KB size is divided into a page number consisting of 20 bits and offset consisting of 12 bits. As I have said you, like here the CPU generates a logical address of 32-bit. This 32-bit is divided into 2, this page number and offset. This offset is of 12 bits and page number is of 20 bits. Totally we will be going to have 32-bit. So a 2-level paging, in the sense, this 20 is further divided into 2. So page 1 of 10 and page 2 of 10. In order to lessen the burden on page number, we have further divided into 2. So this is the page 1 and page 2 and the displacement. So this is a 2-level paging. And how the translation scheme, in the sense this logical address is going to P1 address is going to be find over here in the outer page first. So thus outer page produces an offset of an inner page, and by taking the offset of that inner page we'll be going to search a particular thing, and then that is going to be added with the displacement, and then we'll be going to find a particular page in a particular frame. This is how the translation is going to be done. Three level paging, in the sense, so here Pi, P2 and displacement are there. This Pi is further divided into Pi, P2 and P3 three times. So if it is a 64-bit, so 64-bit in the sense, like what it is going to happen, 64-bit in the sense, so here 64 minus 12 will be 12 bits is already of displacement, right? So 64 minus 12, in the sense, like you will be going to have 52. So Pi will be having 32, and P2 will be having 10, and P3 will be having 10, totally 52 bits. Fine. Along with the displacement 12, we will be going to have 64 bits. So this is how we will be going to lessen the burden on a single page table by making use of hierarchical page table. And the next one is the hashed page table. Fine. So when we are going to talk regarding this hashed page table, so let me say you what do you mean by a hashing. So hashing in the sense, why hashing in the sense, like hashing produces a searching operation. Fine. We are having a linear search, binary search, and hashing. So linear search worst case is of big O of n, and binary search worst case is of big O of log n. When it comes to the hashing, the worst case of hashing is big O of 1. One in the sense it needs only one comparison, so that we'll be going to find the data. So that's the reason instead of using that linear search, binary search, we'll be going for the hashing concept. So linear search requires n iterations, binary search log n, big O of log n, but when it comes to the hashing, it needs only big O of 1. That means one search is enough to find the particular data onto the particular place. So here here we'll be going to have hashing concept. So let me go through something related to hashing concept. Fine. So when we are talking regarding the hashing, so hashing in the sense, hashing will be going to use for searching operations. Fine. Suppose if there are n slots, suppose we'll be going to have n slots. These are n slots. So then key is mapped to the n slots. We'll be going to generate a hash key, and that key is going to be mapped with the n slots. So here the hash function is equals to this h of k is equals to k mod n. This is the formula. Fine. H of k is equals to k mod n, where k is equals to the key value and n is equals to the number of memory locations. So k mod n, so k is equals to key value, n is the number of memory locations. Suppose coming to the diagram, suppose this is the hash table function. Suppose if CPU generated a logical suppose CPU generated a logical address. Fine. So that logical address is going to be divided into two. Logical address is going to be divided into two, that is the page number and the displacement. This page number we will be going to give to the hash function. So this hash function is going to provide the required concept, and that value is searched in the hash table. This hash table key what we are going to get, we'll be going to place it in the linked list format. Why we are going for the linked list format? In the sense, in order to in order not to have collisions, like we'll be going for the linked list. So this is the concept we'll be going to overcome here. Here first the CPU generates a logical address. Fine, the CPU generates the logical address. This logical address is divided into two. The first one is the page number and second one is the displacement. Fine, page number and the displacement. Suppose here when we are this page number what we are going to get, that CPU generated page number we'll be going to give to the hash function. What this hash function will do is it will be going to provide hash value. The output of hash function is the hash value. This hash value is mapped onto the locations of the hash table. So we'll be going to map to the locations onto the hash table. Each location contains a linked list. So how many locations are there? Each location contains a linked list in order to handle the collisions. So how we are going to handle the collisions? In the sense, by making use of separate chaining concept. By making use of separate chaining concept, we are going to eliminate the collisions. So fine, next collection, like what we'll be going to collisions, like we'll be going to employ this linked list formats. A linked list is nothing but a collection of elements or nodes. We call it as a linked list. Suppose for example, if CPU has generated a logical address of 123. Fine, so here the hash table is of 10 size. Fine, now what we'll be going to see is, like here the key value, what is the formula we have seen? What is the formula we have seen? H of k is equals to k mod n. Fine, so here k we call it as a key value and we call it as the number of memory locations. Fine, suppose if CPU generated logical address of 123. So CPU has generated a logical address of 123. So 123, here number of memory locations in the hash table, suppose if we take 10. So 123 mod 10. So what is the value? We'll be going to get the 3. Fine, so what the 3 means? This 123 is stored at third frame. Fine, what this is going to tell us, this 123 is going to be stored at third frame. So this is how we'll be going to make use of this hashing table. Suppose for example 123, so here this 123 is there, the frame number is suppose some 5 or 5 is there. So if there are no any other pages, here we'll be going to keep null, or else here we'll be going to store the address of the next node. So here 2000 will be stored. So if suppose CPU generated a logical address of, suppose if you are going to consider some 843, so 843 modulo 10, that is equals to 3. So here what it will be going to do is, here in the 843 is going to be stored onto the third, like that it will be going to check. So in order not to have collisions, like here only 2 in the sense, if there are no nodes in the sense, you can keep the null and it will be going to check now. So here suppose if CPU wants to store 143, it will be going to check with this one. So here 143, here the page is 123. So it will be going to the next address. What is the next address? 2000. So 2000. So here the CPU generated address is 843, and here also we will be going to have 843. So 843, 843 is same. Then that frame number is going to be taken. Which frame it is? Suppose it is of 6th frame, and the displacement is of 60th. So then it will be going for the 6th frame and 60th location it will be going to take, and we'll be going to get the data. This is how hash table function concept is going to be used. So here why we are going to use linked list, in the sense, in order not to have collisions. Suppose if CPU generated logical addresses, the mod function mod value is the same, in the sense like we'll be going to get collisions. In order not to have collisions, we are using separate chaining concept, so that so if 3, in the sense if this is also 3 and here the mod value is also 3, so they both got collide. So in order to avoid collision, we will be going to have separate chaining. So like this we will be going to have a separate chaining. Suppose if CPU wants if CPU generated 123 address, in the sense this 123 is going to be checked with this first link. So 123 is same. So this frame number, which frame it is stored? Some 5th frame. This frame number is going to be given. So this 5th frame 60th location displacement. So we will be going to the 5th frame 60th location. Like this we will be going to have the hashed page table. Fine. So hashed page table, in the sense like we will be going to make use of hashing function. A hash value is going to be generated in order to map onto the hash table. So in order to avoid collisions, we will be going to the concept of separate chaining. So collisions, if the CPU generated that mod value is same, in the sense we shouldn't collide. So for that reason we are making the concept of separate chaining. So this is how the hash table or hashed page table is going to be structured. And next one we will be going to have the inverted page table. Next we will be going to have the inverted page table. See here in the hashed page tables, what we have studied, the virtual page number is hashed into page table. Elements of virtual 3 fields we will be going to have. So what are the 3 fields? The virtual page number, mapped frame, a pointer, element to the linked list. So this is how we will be going to have the CPU generated a logical address. This logical address will be going to give to the hash function. It generates a hash value. This hash value is mapped onto the hash table, and it will be going to check in the linked list, like whether which list it is going to have. So as we know, linked list will be going to have the address of the next instruction is going to be stored over here. By making these connections, we will be going to search. If anything is matched, that is going to be revealed, and the displacement is added, and the particular location is going to be found. So this is how the hash table is going to be done. And last one is the inverted page table. So inverted page table, in the sense it combines a page table and a frame table onto a data structure. So what do you mean by a frame? A frame is nothing but main memory is going to be divided into frames. So here previously what we have seen, what do you mean by a page table, in the sense? So here page table, in the sense we will be going to have the frame number and the page number. Fine, is it not? We will be going to have the frame number as well as the page number. So page 6 is loaded into which frame? 4th frame. Page 4 is loaded into which frame? 1st frame. Like that, which page has been loaded onto which frame, we will be going to get the information in the page table. When it comes to the inverted page table, so what is the advantage of inverted page table, in the sense, at the starting of the class what I have said you, each and every process is going to have a page table, right? If any page is loaded onto the main memory, the particular page table also has to be loaded. I said you right. Suppose a process P1 is having, process P1 is having 100 instructions. Fine. Process P1 is having 100 instruction. This is the main memory. So this process P1 is having 100 instruction. Out of 100 instructions, only 5 instructions are stored onto the main memory. Only 5 instructions are stored onto the memory and 95 instructions are left out. Even though these 95 instructions are left out, we have to store all the page tables onto the main memory. So 0 to 99 instruction page tables have to be loaded onto the main memory, which is very uh, space consuming one. So in order to overcome this drawback, what we are going to do is we are going for the inverted page table. In this inverted page table, what we are maintaining, in the sense, we are maintaining a process ID, page number and the frame number. Suppose I have said P1 to P100, and that means P0 to P99 processes are sorry, P1 process containing 100 pages. Suppose for example, I am having 5 processes, P1, P2, P3, P4 and P5. P1 is having 10 pages, P2 is having 90 pages, P3 is having 5 pages and P4 is having 70 pages and P5 is having 80 pages. Fine. So previously what we are going to do, suppose in out of 10 pages, if one page loaded also, all the page tables we are going to be loading. But now when it comes to inverted page table, whatever the page we have loaded, suppose 6th page we have loaded, in the sense that particular frame number only we will be going to store. Here what is the information we will be going to get in the inverted page number, in the sense process ID. That means P2 process 6th page is loaded into 4th frame. And next P5 process 77 page is loaded into 9th frame. This information we will be going to have in the inverted page table. But when it comes to the page table, we will be going to have a process, the page and the frame number, page number and the frame number. So see here, P1 will have 10 pages, in the sense 0 to 9 it will have. P2 90 in the sense 0 to 90, 89 pages will have. P3 5 in the sense 0 to 4 will have. What I mean to say is, P1 process is having a 0 page, 1 page, 2 page. P2 process is also having 0, 1, 2 like that. P3 is also having 0, 1, 2 like that. So if you are showing here P6, in the sense, does P6 relates to P1 page, P2 page, P3, P4 or P5 process? We don't know that one. But when it comes to the inverted page table, we know that PID, in the sense process ID, PNO in the sense page number, which process, P2 process 6th page loaded onto 4th frame. Exactly what we require, that information we will be going to store in the inverted page table. So this inverted page table, we also call it as a global page table. We also call it as a global page table. Why global page table? In the sense, if we are having 5 processes, all the 5 processes information we are going to store in a single page table. But here we don't know this page 6 is of which process. But here we are exactly knowing page, which process, which page, which frame, everything we are going to know in the inverted page table. So what it is going to do is it decreases the storage capacity. So instead of storing all the page tables, here what the page tables we are in need of, that only we can store onto the inverted page table. So we are going to decrease the memory space, but it increases the need to search. Why? Because here previously P6 in the sense, so process P1, suppose CPU executing process P1, that P1 sixth page is going to be loaded, so we need not worry about it. But here global in the sense, all the pages, all the processes information we are storing in a one table. As we are having 5 processes, and which process page has been loaded, suppose I need P5 process ninth frame, P5 process 75. So from the starting P1, P2, P3, P4, P5, I have to search in a sequential order or in a linear order, which is a drawback and time consuming. So this is the drawback of inverted page tables. Fine. So inverted page table is simple. It is a global page table. Instead of storing the page number and the frame number, it will also store which process, which page, which frame, onto which frame, that it will be going to store. But the drawback of it is the searching is going to be difficult. P2 page 6, P2 process 6th page, in the sense it has to search for P1 all the P2 in a sequential order. We can't jump over it. So that is the drawback you will be going to find in the inverted page table. See here that CPU is going to generate a process ID. So here we will be going to have the process ID. That means it is of process P1 or process P2 or process P3, and the page number, which page, it is of 0th page, first page, second page, third page, like that. So that process ID we will be going to check. Suppose if process ID is suppose P3, so we will be going to check in the page table which process. Okay, P3 process is here, so that process which page, 6th page it require, so we will be going to take this 6th page, and here we will be going to, this is going to be actually mapped over here. Fine. Here we will be going to have the process, and here we will be going to have the frame number. So that frame we will be going to take, and along with the displacement we will be going to get the physical address in the main memory. Fine. This is the concept of inverted page table. So these are the three different structures of a page table. So what are the three different structures we have seen? So first one is the hierarchical page table, and next one is the hashed page table, and third one is the inverted page table. As I have said you, in hierarchical page table, like we will be going to have the multi-level paging, that is 2-level paging and 3-level paging, depending on the memory locations, depending on the thing. If it is a 32-bit, we have seen that we have gone for 2-level paging, outer page and the inner page. If it is a 64-bit, we need another page. Like that, as the number of bits increases, we are going to lessen the burden that will be falling on a single page table, so that we are maintaining different page tables in order to lessen the burden. Like that is how we will be going to get the physical address. When it comes to hashed paging, we will be going to use the hash function. This hash function will generate a hash key. That key is mapped onto the hash table, and which is going to map, that will be going to be taken out. So that is the hashed. When it comes to inverted paging, we call it as a global paging. Why? Because all the processes which are there in the main memory, suppose in main memory there are 46 frames, in the sense, that means in order in turn frames are filled, in the sense this inverted paging is going to have 42 entries. So that is the replica of it. So inverted paging is nothing but which frame, which process, which page is loaded, each and every information will be going to load. But the difficulty is we have to search in linear order, so it is a time consuming one. So that's all for today's session. So it is a very important topic when it comes to memory management. uh, Thank you all students, and in the next class we'll be going to discuss another concept. Thank you all, have a nice day.